All right, hello everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. So today's day two of the class, our workshop for AI, and today is the day we are going to focus on using AI to research and scope a project. I guess if you're not doing a project, what it is just to learn how to use AI for doing your research. So if you're doing research for your work that you're doing, or if you're doing research for something you're learning, or for a project that you're working on, there are tools that you can use that use AI to make your research faster. And with your knowledge and how much you go and do check on the further research, your expertise, it can be very valuable. Um, so our project that we have chosen last class, we can make a quick overview of last class before we continue. So it'll be very, very quick because we want to get to the project. But so last class we did. Um, I have a this worksheet here, the workbook. It's available to the class on the shared folder in Google Drive. Um, just let me show real quick where that is, so there's no confusion. For the hold on, let me You know what? Whatever. I have so many folders, but that AI course workshop. Okay, so it's in this workshop. So I think if you're in the class, you have access to this folder with Cloud9 AI Workshop, and there are three files there. The one we're working off of every day when I share that we go through. So we'll call this the workbook. It's AI Workshop Workbook, and then these are other ones supplements: the prompt engineering and the AI tools. The workbook has a link to these other two here, so you'll see that here. So day one notes. Each when On this document, each day that we have, it will have a day for itself. One, two, three. So for the notes, this is what I put in here after the class, the meeting notes. Everything else is usually something that we go through in the class, so I just add. But so each so for the notes, if you want to see the video, you click right here, and it's just the overview of what we went through in the class. That's what the notes would be. So we talked about AI, introduction to AI, the generative and the traditional, and discussed natural language processing. And this is the technology that generative AI has to understand us, the way we talk, the way we speak. That way we don't need to know how to code. So that's what, opened up the field of AI to the public. And then, we went through other tools like ChatGPT and Gemini, how we can use it for writing. We did not go through Claude, but maybe I mentioned it. That's why the transcript has that. But we discussed the different tools. Actually, I did mention it. So these are just tools that we discussed. Not to say we tried all of them. And Sora for the image generation, and Midjourney and Leonardo are also for very specialized image generators. And most of these tools, actually, all of them are free to use. They do have subscription, but they're free to use. So that is very helpful for somebody if you're just being introduced to AI. I don't want you to go spending too much money just to learn something. It's very valuable, but to learn, that should be free. Everyday uses of AI. That was the focus yesterday, just the way we use it every day. So we discuss how we use it to write emails, to look up vocabulary for things we don't understand, especially with our medical terms and medications that we take. And we use it for meal planning, basically, really anything. Because AI, when you use it, it's when I may not say anything, but if for researching, for getting information in writing, for your everyday, that happens so often every day, you can try to use AI to help you get your information faster. Um, and then we did use ChatGPT to just play with the prompts after we had we talked about prompt engineering, how we can make our prompts better with being specific or giving context of what we're asking. So one prompt that we did focus on was we gave an example of writing a contract. So we gave a very basic prompts to say, hey, write a contract. And then when it wrote the contract, we did a comparison to show how much better, I'm trying to find it, how much better the contract is that ChatGPT wrote when we gave a specific instruction. And I think that prompt, let me see. The things in red when you go on the date, that's the either the prompt or the stuff that we had AI generate. So the red here is just like the, so I try to leave that here too. So when you go back in the class notes, you're able to, oh, this is what we practice. So the first prompt we put was write a contract, and then we wrote the prompt that this one, it's fine if your goal is just to understand how the AI works or what information it wants to give, or even if you don't know how to write a contract yourself, you just want to get an idea. So it's fine. But if you have a specific contract that you wanted in a specific situation, this is not useful to you. It's just going to take more time for you to have to like go back and forth. So it's better to be more specific and give your intention and your scenario that you tell it I want a service agreement contracts because and what service it's about. So that's an overview, and then we at the end of that workshop that we did, we made a decision to work on a class project, which is going to be based on Osusu. Osusu is a financial concept in Sierra Leone, and it the concept itself is happens around the world, but in Sierra Leone we call it Osusu, where a group of people come together and they do a group savings, and with the group savings, each person gets a turn each month to receive the money. So we just came with the idea, okay, which way can we digitize this using AI, and are there other ways that we can even improve it when we discuss possibly just let me see here where it's one user that can put money on the app and they themselves can take it out, so they're not depending on the group to get this done or for their savings. And then we also discuss, okay, well, that's a good user to target, and then on top of that we can maybe also look and see if there's a way to, for the future, say if this goes out to be a bigger project, a group investing where the same way that they do it now, but the application handles the money where they can put money in and then that money goes into the stock market or invest in some business and then they can get money back later on. Like, anyways, like we discussed that. That's just an overview of what that is. But so with that being said, any questions for the overview? And for us to come for today, we're going to do research on this Osusu. And while we're doing the research, I'll just teach along of how this ties into do with smart research using AI. All right.
Well, no question. No question for me.
Okay. 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 So with researching, for me, I know I'm used to researching. That's day three, not day three. I need to go on this one, tab 9. Okay. I'm going to replace this with the first page. But so we recap day one, and then today's focus is to using the research, and then so we're going to build the simple for it to be a simple WhatsApp chatbot to help people in Sierra Leone track their Osusu savings. And today we're going to learn how to use research tools to help with that, to help us in this app creation, to help research tools and write up what this app needs to do. So okay, yeah, so that's important. We're going to learn how to use the research tools and write up what this app needs to do. And by this one, you see this here, it says BRD. That's what that is. This part that says what this app needs to do in software development, at least in the traditional software development, that's the field that I work in. There are many documents that we have. So I'm teaching from my experience and my perspective. There's other documents that can probably do the same thing, but from my experience, um, this business requirement document is one that explains what the app does and from the user perspective. So it's a business requirement document. It has a list of requirements that the business wants the app to do. I'm going to pause right now because I see that the student dropped off and I don't want to keep going for them to miss out. Be right back. All right, so I was explaining that this part here where it says what this app needs to do, for this lesson, we're going to capture that in a document, and that document it's called a business requirement document. There are probably many other documents out there I know for sure that can do the same thing, but this is just from my experience of work. That's a document that I would create to explain to to capture what the business is or the user, the people that want to develop the application, what they want the application to do. So then the software developers, they use that document as like a understanding of, okay, this is what we need to build, you know? And so that's why
Mm,
we're going to just take that process. At least I think that would give a good structure. And it's always, anyways, let's continue. Let me not ramble on too much. And okay, let me see. So that's okay. That's so. What makes AI research smarter? Um, so for research, traditionally there are different things we can use. I mean, we can read books to research, or we could use Google search or ChatGPT. No, Google search or if it's a company that you're in that already has something, sometimes you can use the company's information, internal information, to do research on an application that needs to build. But for the most part, if you're going online, it's usually something like Google or Yahoo, that you search on. And the difference is that with these ones, usually you'll search, each question has its results. So although it can be smart the way it can search based on SEO to give you results of things. So if I search um, you can't continue that in a conversation way the same way you do with ChatGPT or the other AIs, ChatGPT, Perplexity, even Notebook LM. So I think it's better if we just, let me see. I think with this one, we're going to learn along the way the technical ways of why, but I know that's a huge difference. The fact that with this one, you're searching just based on each individual question that's asked. And with these, they call the database, the way they search, it's vector, but it just allows you to, for the AI to respond to you in a way they can create answers. So if I wanted to create something, it can respond to me in that search way, where a traditional way it just sees what's out there and it gives you a response. But let me not ramble too much and go on to the next one. We'll see how that works exactly when we're better hands on. But if you already use Google and if you already touch ChatGPT, and you probably already have an idea anyways, but if you haven't, when we use the same question in each one, we'll see the difference. And Notebook LM specifically, it does the same thing like the other ones, but with Notebook LM, it only works off of information that we give it. So when we're starting the process, we'll probably first start off with these three. There's still value in this one, I think, but Notebook LM is once we have our documents together. It's really helpful in research when you need to create something out of documents you already have. Um, so, because it's not based off what's on the internet, it's based on your documents and the information that you add. Not just your document, but other documents that may not be yours, but you add it to the knowledge base. So the benefits of using AI for research is that it really helps to summarize long pages. When you have a lot of pages, especially if we're just starting right now, maybe we have a lot of links and pages we want to combine to understand. It helps to summarize that, and it's really helpful with brainstorming without us having to go search many different pages. Although, for when decisions are made, for always advise, make sure you fact check. You during this practice, when we're studying, when we're with the class, you won't really see me going through the links to go fact check because it's for the sake of studying and learning and teaching. But when it's work that I'm doing to submit, I'll have to check and verify that this information is correct. Or if it's something I already know, for me it will be easy to confirm. And the same thing for anybody. If they already know the information, they can confirm and just use their own knowledge to verify. But what I was explaining earlier is when you use AI to search, you can follow up questions without having to explain. So if I ask a question like, okay, well, how can I create an application for Osusu in Sierra Leone? And then if my next question is related to that, I don't have to say, oh, hey, because of the Osusu in Sierra Leone now, what is the best application to use? I just say, oh, what's the best application to use to create this? And it'll know that I'm referring to the application that I mentioned for the Osusu. Now, the limits though for this using AI, and this is part of your AI literacy, understanding AI, is that because the chatbots are trained on information that is on the internet, and anybody can create information on the internet, they have a concept called hallucination. So it may hallucinate. What it means is that it may give you information that's incorrect. So it's not just because it's trained on information that's on the internet, but maybe sometimes it's just the way the application is designed, like ChatGPT. It may not have as much um, information, knowledge on what you're asking. So with ChatGPT and Gemini, Gemini is better at it, but ChatGPT kind of always wants to give you an answer, even if it doesn't know it. Like it always tries to find to give you an answer, and sometimes it's wrong. So that's why hallucination is. It gives it's wrong information. Sometimes even, anyways, you the more you play with it, the more you'll see when how this happens. So it's always good to give it feedback, or like I said, always use your own thinking with the applications. And sometimes they don't always cite the source. They don't always tell you where things are. And I mean, for me, I really think that's impossible to ask of the machine to give you a source for every single thing. But that's just something to be aware of. Might not have real data, and that's very, very true. If you think of a topic that is very specific, if you ask it questions, sometimes it may tell you that it doesn't have the data. Perplexity definitely does that. I mean, Notebook LM does that. Perplexity works differently, but ChatGPT and Google Gemini, um, this will definitely happen where the data you're just wondering, where did you even get this information? I think example of this was not I think real life example of this one young girl that I know. She's a teacher, and there was a story about her school how another teacher, I don't know this story, how we got to this point, but it wasn't as bad as it sounded. But another teacher, I guess, was daring the kids to smell her feet. Like it's a joke about smell her feet if they want candy. And then that was a story that happened a long time ago. And then the girl herself, though, she was telling me how she searched herself on ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT said that it was her that was a teacher that asked the kids to smell her feet when it wasn't her. So just FYI, it really would have the wrong data sometimes. And then she corrected it, saying that it's not the wrong person that the story was about.
Okay.
So I don't know. So, and that's a very basic one, but then it could be real life, situations too, where if like don't take ChatGPT to be your doctor, because who knows, like medical terms that we're looking up, it's good for us to learn, but don't go take a medication because ChatGPT says so if you don't even understand the medication. So use it to learn, but it's not your doctor. Um, Prompts like get feedback from a doctor or do more research, additional research somewhere else outside of the application to make sure that it's consistent. Like if you can't go to a specialist, at least check somewhere else to make sure it's consistent to increase the chance that it's correct. So prompt framework examples, like example for this would be like, say we're building the app, right, and ChatGPT is like, oh yeah, you can use this tool and it's free, and then we're like, oh yeah, so then instead of going to go check, we build a whole plan around that tool that we think it's free because we didn't go check and to make sure that it's true, and now we just wasted our time to do a plan around something that is not true. But if we simply went and checked in other sites, we could see like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's a free trial for 1 week, and that's not enough. Um, Prompt framework example. So this is just an example of what we can start with to search. What are the steps to build a simple chatbot for WhatsApp that tracks savings? List tools that are free and low cost or available in Sierra Leone. So why this prompt is really good is because it states the intention of the prompt is saying, we want steps to build a simple chatbot for WhatsApp. That's our intention. And then we give it context of what it is. So the context would be things like, the chatbot, it tracks savings. And we want it to, the fact that it tracks savings is a given a context of what this chatbot does. It helps to track the savings, and we use it on WhatsApp. List tools that are free. This is also what is like limitations or even context, even because we wanted to list tools that are free or low cost. we want to give it more information so it can give us better feedback, you know? And it's may not seem like it matters, but we also put the fact that it's available in Sierra Leone because that's something that we want to use in Sierra Leone. So we want the
Yes.
ChatGPT or Gemini to give us apps that we can use for that people can use in Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the context that's really, really good to add there. Um, so this, we could take this, let me see. We'll test it in all these different ones, and then we can see the difference of how they work for the search. And then once we see the
Okay.
difference, then we can go on to actually try to work on the BRD that is specific to
Okay.
building the class projects. How about that?
Okay. No
Okay.
problem. No problem.
Okay. So for the class project, I guess before we actually we will do this, but before I move on, actually, class projects here. Let me duplicate this and put a copy down on day two. Rename project Osusu. Uh, Okie dokie. So that's the prompt. Whenever I put something like this here on a document, at least for this one, that means this is a prompt that I put on an AI.
Okay.
Just so you know.
That the formats, right?
Yeah. So if I put an italic, that means say this is
Mhm.
not prompt, so I put an yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Just as a way for you to be like, okay, this is something we know put an AI will use. But what are the steps to build prompt? So I just want to get like a clear idea of what I know here we said. Is there anything else to clear out the definition of the application we did build? We're building a WhatsApp chatbot that helps people in Sierra Leone, Susu. Today, okay. So make we define. I want us to kind of write more about what we want. These are things that are. Let me see. Make a list of things that we want for the application.
Okay.
So this is a part where they call requirement gathering. Maybe in a different class, I'll explain the whole software developing process. But
Okay.
as far as like, what do we want in the application? So, or what is the main thing we want the application to do, right? So I just want to confirm this is it for it to track savings. Well, I guess I'm checking with you, Abu, too. So we're on the same page, right? So it's for it to be a WhatsApp chatbot, right?
Mm-hmm.
To help
Mm-hmm.
people in
Yes,
Sierra Leone
ma'am.
track their savings.
Yeah, service, yes.
Oh, okay, so they are for this one. They're not manually putting. So it's not they're not depositing money in there. It's just a track for them to put in for
Mm-hmm.
the organizer and the
Yes.
contributors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Organizers and the contributors are able um to
Receive notification.
yeah, notifications. They are also able to sub. They have made a deposit.
Mm-hmm.
The Okay, I think I'm going too much into creating this document, so let me just pause there. So this is just tracking, but it's not
Okay.
the application is not collecting the money. Just wanted to put that in right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, let's add that the application also have pop-up that gives testimonies of people that have used it, or have space that people can give testimony that this app.
Pop up or place, like review section.
Mm, mm-hmm, review section, yes.
So what we're doing right now, the reason why I said it's
Mm,
going towards this one, these
mm,
things here, they really basically are what we call requirements, right? Requirements.
okay,
hmm
okay.
So in software development, requirements are the things that you require for the application to have, right? So what you
Okay.
wanted to do, WhatsApp, the application is going to be a WhatsApp chatbot to help people in Sierra Leone track their savings. So this is a requirement, and this one too. Like this is a requirement that looks like a business that will come from the business and the users, because we're talking about what we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do as a user. It's not about the
Mm-hmm.
system. It's just
Mm-hmm.
as a user, this is what we want things to happen. And so this is very good. So I think we can definitely let me. Okay, I definitely see. Let me see, because here this section here, we'll go over this document and see here business requirements. This is
Mm-hmm.
definitely like where it belongs, you know,
Okay.
in our business
Okay.
requirements. But so that's really good start, I think. So to have a review section, and then so let's just go start with the research, because we're going to build more onto this, because
Mm-hmm.
that can go on and on. But that's really good that we're getting a start on that. So what are the steps to build a simple chatbot for WhatsApp that tracks savings? Um, list tools track savings for Osusu that
Mm,
tracks the savings can be for an individual or a group savings. Okay. So now
mm-hmm.
let's list tools that are free or low cost and available in Sierra Leone. Okay. So when we go on Google, they're doing their updates and everything. Google has so many AI stuff, so they're everywhere. We go on Google
Okay.
here. They did add this AI mode here, so they will have a response like that. So if we pretend I
Mm,
didn't have the search lab here, the traditional search, when you see here, it just shows like the web pages, right?
okay.
Traditional search. So right now I'm just explaining the difference in the different searches as we're doing, and then
Okay.
how using AI can change the way we search. So
Okay.
you see here, traditionally you'll have to like click on each one, and then we go like how to create WhatsApp chatbot in 8 steps. So I have to go through this and see, okay, well, try to understand the steps, or if this works. Let me see. No rejects. I don't want cookies. Like it's usually like it's good. I can read through each one and get an understanding and follow the ones that I think is good for me. You can use a chatbot
Okay.
for WhatsApp to handle customer queries at a time, but it's not specific. Like if I search here, for example, Control F, Sierra, it has nothing to do with Sierra Leone or Osusu. Although it doesn't
Mm,
have to, I could
mm,
probably still build the application to be specific to that. It's only based on what that person wrote here on this web page.
okay.
Okay. And then but if we go use Google actually has this thing called now AI mode. So I think for
AI
the
mode,
search,
yeah.
because they wanted to Perplexity was doing so good, so Google is just doing the AI mode. So now this is using AI for search. So now with you see the
Mm,
difference now the answer, now it's giving me the answer. It's not just giving me a bunch of
mm,
links. So although it's giving
mm,
me links here for me to go and look and read the 7 best WhatsApp chatbot tools, 6 best WhatsApp, it's giving me a direct answer from my question. The steps to
okay.
build a simple chatbot. You see, and then here's a breakdown for the steps to build a chatbot for tracking Osusu savings adapted for individual and groups in Sierra Leone. Now, to get this specific of a research with the other way, like we'll have to go click through so many links, right? But with
Mm-hmm.
this way, it's giving me the answer and writing it the way that's specific to my question with the links in between for me to go and read some more on that area that I guess the link is connected to. So
Okay.
that's the difference with the AI and the traditional search is that the AI can be more specific to your questions. So we can, let me see, for the sake of, since we are doing research, this is something that we can
Mm-hmm.
copy and then we can paste Add a sub tab. I'll put here, let me see, Google AI mode. Uh, See, this Google one, they need to probably definitely improve because I don't like none. Okay. It's hard to figure out what's, I don't even know how to like change that, but that's just for the sake of just showing research. When you get your answer, you put it in here for the sake of the business requirement document. We'll just put the steps here, and I guess my goal is that just to compare and then see which one works best for us. But since I don't want to lose the results in case I close this out,
Mm,
I'm just putting it over there. So this
okay.
is okay. Right now, it seems like all I could do was copy and paste it. I can't just easily export it. Um, and then it looks like, does it show my history? Okay, I can go back. Okay, so that's that first one, and then so the second one was copy. Let me close it out. Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Gemini is still Google, but Gemini it's on its own AI chatbot, not on Google search.
Okay.
So it might
Okay.
be better. Look, it's already even doing other extra things here right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Gemini,
Data recovery.
yeah. So it's giving it to me in a document form as far as this thing called Canvas that they have, and here we can remove and add things as far as the document. But Gemini is the same way, like as far as how it gives you the answer in the same specific way. It's responding. The response is about Osusu building a WhatsApp Osusu savings chatbots. And if I wanted to continue to refine it, and if there's something I don't really want, I can remove it here.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Okay.
so that's the nice thing about this one. Or if I just want to continue chatting here, let me see this. So I'll just show this before we like click on the next one. I wonder. Hold on,
Okay.
hold on. I'm not sure what to do next. Okay, you know what? Let's continue. Like I said, I'm just going to show how they look like, and then we can go ahead and gather the actual data. Um,
Okay.
so this one, you can click X here and just continue the chat. This guide provides comprehensive overview of building chat
Overview of building a chat box
from
for
planning
planning
to
to
deployment. Go ahead.
with a strong focus of utilizing free and low-cost tools that
Hmm.
are globally accessible via the internet. Let me know if you have any specific question about any of these steps.
Yeah. So you can continue just chatting here, like asking a question without it bringing this page if you click off the canvas part.
Mhm.
But if you want to
Okay,
bring up the canvas, you can still click open. But I
okay,
think what I'll
okay,
do for the sake of gathering our stuff, this one is easy. You just click copy the content. If I just want to copy and paste it, or if I want to just create a new document, export to docs. When I export to docs, it brings it up in its own document. And this is
mm,
Google document from Gemini to Google
okay,
document. But for the class sake, I'm going to just add it as its own sub tab here. Google
okay,
Gemini right here. Okay. So this is us gathering. This is the research process. We're doing research right now. And
okay,
then so for the next app,
ah,
copy Perplexity. This one acts a little
yes.
differently. I could put
Mm,
ChatGPT. Actually, you know what? For the sake, because the class, this is a project we want to build. I will go to ChatGPT and also ask it to see ChatGPT to get a different to have ChatGPT's
okay,
answer. But
okay.
so we could just make sure that we like see the tools that they all give. But with this one, when we click enter, this is Perplexity. Perplexity is really good with when it comes to the sources because
Mm,
it's built exactly the way I think that Google wants to do that AI mode. Remember on the Google search when we click AI
yes,
mode and
yes.
I had to copy, but I think
Mm,
Perplexity did it first. So Google, that's when they added that mode because Perplexity is getting a lot of users. It's really good because it goes through. It's not doing something like it's not. although it's creating the answers, it's really creating the answers based off of the research, like very specifically. It's so it pulls a lot of its answers from the websites that it researches to create it versus creating an answer and then finding the research to link to it. I don't know, like the more you use it, the
Okay.
more you'll see what I mean by that. But
Okay.
and that makes sense. Like you see how the difference perplexity. Yes, it gives you the answers. Like here, it's very specific. Building a WhatsApp chatbot for tracking no susu. Saving rotating savings in Sierra Leone involves integrating accessible tools from both individual and group savings management. Below are steps and tools prioritizing free, low cost options daily. Um, Let me see. All right, so this one's pretty short. You want to read through just like the steps highlight real quick, so at least I can get you
Mm-hmm.
engaged. So just the steps, like
Mm-hmm.
step one.
Acquire a Sierra Leone virtual number.
Uh-huh. Wow, tough. So,
That's the one. Yeah, then the second one, choose a chatbot platform.
uh-huh.
Then the third one, design service logo.
Oh, logic.
Yes, yes.
Savings logic, yeah.
Then, mhm.
And
Then the fourth one, integrate tracking features.
then automate, notify. And then
Automate alert. Then test and launch.
mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this one is showing apps that are different because I did the search too. I don't think I've even seen these apps that it's showing, so it's
Mm.
very
So
interesting.
for the tools now, they have a Taphone, they have bot pigeon, they have chatbotkit.com, use case, Sierra Leone virtual number, chat builder, AI chat. Then the cost. Okay.
Mm,
Well, like for this one is I think I saw some of them are free. I want to look at them so that
mm-hmm.
I can try them later.
Oh,
Like
okay.
WhatsApp, like WhatsApp automation, then
Mm-hmm.
this one chatbot builder. That bots pigeon, bots pigeon. Okay,
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
try it.
Yes, let me copy this too and then put this on what was that? Perplexity?
Mm.
Yeah, Perplexity gives like all the links to search for.
Mm,
Yeah. Like all the links that they have here, they listed to here. I mean, they all give links, but I feel like Perplexity does a lot better
yes,
the links
yes.
to search some more. Now I wonder, what steps are needed to connect WhatsApp business? See, I know we can. Okay, let me just with Notebook LM, like I said before, this kind of comes last when we have documents that we created already, and then we're just creating our because since this is research, um, I'm not sure if Notebook LM right now. Let me see. Actually, Notebook LM can probably let's say when we have all these. Okay, this is the way we can use Notebook LM here. Say if we okay, we have all these, but we're not sure which one exactly to pick, which process. And I
Mm-hmm,
think Notebook LM we can probably combine them in there and ask it the questions. Although it's only going to base its answer based on what we give it, but maybe it
mm-hmm,
can give you like instead of going back in the steps when you have a question based on the steps, you can ask Notebook LM, oh, okay, I'm on this step now. Like, what do I need to do? You know? So once we already
okay,
pick our framework of what we want to do, like which steps we want to take, what tools we want to create, and everything, and then we can put that guide on Notebook LM. Let me see, create a notebook, and then we can just like copy and paste it here. Or if we create a document on Google Drive, we can connect it to the document and now we can just
okay,
search it, be like, okay, so we're on the step to do like we're right now we're connecting it to, I don't know, I'd be like basically now we're using it to help guide us through the steps. And
okay,
that's how for this process that's how I see Notebook LM fitting in, but that's the best way that it works. That's how Notebook LM works anyways, for you to search through the data that you already have. So if it's a process that you already kind of have down that you want to follow, we can upload the process here now. So Right now, it might be too early because we haven't really gone through each step to see if it
mm,
works.
mm,
But once we get a
mhm,
full step of what we want works, we can put it here. Now it can be our guideline. Or let's say
okay.
we already created the app, and this is just like just a scenario of how Notebook LM can really be helpful. But let's say we already created an app. See if I have an example of what that looks like. Habits of beauty. Yeah, say something like this. We already created the app, right? And now we just want
Mm,
to create like some like for users, a guideline for users to go to like use if they have questions on how to use the app, what to do, and everything. The guideline, but we don't always have to be there to answer for them. So we can use Notebook LM to put all the like the guideline information instructions on how to use the app. And when they have access to this, then they can ask the questions, and Notebook LM can guide them on how to use the app. Yeah, that's that. But let me see. Okay, so let me pull back a bit because we need to review these to kind of decide on what we want.
mhm.
Um, so let me see. Oh, let me just ask a question quick on ChatGPT so I can get ChatGPT's answer.
Yes, yes. Mhm,
Hmm. I don't know. Okay, and then I want to actually see. So this is just for the sake of the class. This is
mm,
it when it comes to research using AI. Like it's really just using the tools, and then
yes,
but you
yes.
can also yourself go and let me see. Like you can use AI to search and ask if there's any other place to do research. That's what I was trying to think. Like what other place to do research? You can go ahead and we can do search on that as well. And not just be
Okay,
limited to these tools. But this is just to show the difference between searching with AI and regular searching. Um,
okay.
so let me see. ChatGPT, you build a WhatsApp chatbot that can track individual group savings, allow users to check balances, report new contributions, and view savings history.
View service history.
That
Mm.
sounds good.
That's the different with Chat GPT with others. Chat GPT it goes straight to the point.
Mm. Okay, I see what you mean. Let me see this one.
So for this one, you see,
Yeah. This one, I'm not sure if this is really. I wasn't really thinking about something with the phone plan, but is that what you WhatsApp
mm,
need a phone plan? Do you?
no, you don't need it.
Yeah, I really wasn't thinking of phone plans. So when they brought this, I'm like, I don't know if it was. I don't think it's not what I was thinking.
So Chat GPT is more informed than those others. The way I'm seeing
Yeah,
it.
I wonder if it's because, like I said before, like I've used ChatGPT a lot more, so like it has more of my information. So I wonder if it's
Mm,
just more like trained, for
yes,
me, like my
yes,
chat
yes.
GPT is better trained than the others.
Mm-hmm,
But let's see.
mm-hmm.
So you'll build a WhatsApp chatbot that can do that. Um, so
So these are the free tools.
yeah, available in Sierra Leone. So pay as you go. Twilio API for WhatsApp, free trial and pay as you go. Google Sheets
Google Sheet data. Yes.
for the data storage, for logging, savings, and users. Pipe Dream, Make, Zapier, automation between tools, free tier, Connect WhatsApp plus
Oh, shit.
Sheets,
Yeah.
uh, Glide, and AppSheet, no code apps or dashboards, free tier for user friendly interface. Um, Google Forms,
Google
optional,
Form. Yeah.
data input free, alternative to chat input. Okay. Um, WhatsApp. So is this like I wonder are those the tools for all the whole single app together or let me see.
Mm,
So this is research to create if I read it I probably can tell, but I'm just gonna ask real quick because I want the quick answer. To create the app,
okay.
do we need to use all the tools or let me just put that. No, you don't need to all the tools.
Yes.
The tools serve
Yes.
different
I
role.
think yeah. Yeah. You are going to pick one.
Uh-huh.
Then you do it.
Oh, okay, okay. If your goal is just to let users message, save data, track it, push. Oh, okay. Optional add-ons only if you need it. Okay, I see. So it's not to say all the tools, but you pick which one you want.
Mhm.
Okay. Purpose, WhatsApp messaging, automation between tools. Notes globally available for login, savings users. Let me just copy what it says here real quick, and then okay. So these are all the different. So it's pretty smart. Look with the tab. Look at that. You see with
Mm.
how when I just click to rename, it put the name on like the first word that I have in the document.
Mm.
Wow, okay, that's smart.
Mm. Okay.
So Google AI
Okay.
mode. So these are all the searches that we did to get for the research we're doing. But when it comes to the requirement document, oh, I know I'm going over. I feel like we'll have to like work on the class project also outside of the class. This recording, like we could probably
Mm-hmm.
put it in
Yes.
without a recording and actually work on the project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think when I'm looking at the results, like I know we can create AI projects, quick ones, if we use just one application. Like this one,
Mm.
like if we try to create just a GPT, that'd be very quick to create, Or we can create like a Gemini gem. These are also two tools you can create for free, but I don't. For these, they will not track the savings, but so in my mind, I was thinking this would be very quick, but it could be quick, but not that quick. That's how I would say we probably have to work on this outside of the class recording. Because with these, all you have to do is just upload information and you're good. But let me see. WhatsApp chatbot. Okay, so what I was saying here, the requirement document, the business requirement document. So this is a document that you create in software development to just kind of define the application. So we'll just go through this quickly to create like our requirement document and see because then this would be like a baseline for us to refer
Yes.
to have
Yes.
a mutual
Okay.
understanding of the project. Um, Let me just put this here quick to see something. Title. All right. So the document title is just I think this is the requirement document. Osusu Osusupal. We could change the name, but we'll just put that version one for requirement documents. Like it needs to put we need to put the name of like who it's prepared by. Like these are the this is a generic template for a requirement document. And the thing
Okay.
like you need on it is a title and then like who's prepared by. So usually it's like the analyst or whoever the preparer is for that for the company. So we'll put Abu and Muna. It could be more than one person that works on the document.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then so this version you usually set it like so we could just put version one, but usually you set the
Yes.
version after you complete it and you send it out for
Mm.
approval. When it's ready for
Okay.
approval, then you change your version. But when we haven't
Mm.
sent it yet, we could just for now put draft. And
Okay.
then so we could just put the date that we started working on it. But we'll change the date when we're done with it to and then when we update the draft here, we can change the date and then that's like set. And then when we
Mm.
change the date
Okay.
after each draft that we create. After each
Okay.
version. But revision history, this is just to track the history of the documents. So example, like you'll put the version. So I just put draft. We started the draft
Draft. Yes.
today at
The date.
yeah 6/26/2025, and then same thing. Yeah, and then so for each version, if somebody makes an update for is whoever works on version one, say if it's just you or just me or somebody else, when they complete it,
Mm,
put version one, the date, and then that.
but
And
yes.
then sometimes
Okay.
like maybe like version one isn't complete. There's another change, version 1.1, and that person puts the change that they made. So things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Description. Mm. Change request. I'll just put
Share number.
yeah. The change request is basically say it's a application. It's like the request. I'll just put initial. Like this is the first time there's a request. Like hypothetical
Mm-hmm.
a request for the project.
Okay.
So I'll just put
Okay.
initial request because the first time, but usually say if it's ongoing already, and then now they're already tracking it. If there's like like when you give feedback for an application, when they say, "Oh, how did they do?" And if the company decides, okay, this is something we want to actually make a change on the application, it'll become a change request. So depending on what order it is in that tracking system, it might be request number, I don't know, OP1, OP2, OP4, Osusupal, you know, or CR1, CR2, CR3, CR4. But that's just if it is a
Mm,
change request. If it's sometimes it's not a change request, so you don't need to put anything here. Sometimes it could just be a
okay.
change that was made because the document had wrong information, not because
Okay.
it was something that needed to get changed. Okay, so just that this document is usually just high level, so it's not super detailed. And by super detail, I mean like it's not telling. Let me see, like, oh, this on the left side here, we need to have the company logo, and when you click on it, it needs to take you to this main page. That's a
Mm,
requirement, but
mm,
this is more of a system
okay.
requirement. It's very specific. You know. Or
Mm,
if I click on here, it should bring these up, and then when I click on here, it should bring these up. These
mm,
are still requirements, but they're very specific, so they're more system requirement.
yes.
But this is
Yes.
just the business requirement. It's high level. It's talking about what we want it to do for the people, the business, what they want out of it. So
Mm,
when it says system requirements, you're talking about the buttons, the fields, like more detail, and that's more like what the developers they'll decide for project that move fast. I think with these AI projects, I know for sure it's going to be like developers just decide, but they usually also on their end have like a detailed requirement document called system requirement document, not business SRS instead of the SR.
okay.
Yeah. So just okay, that was just a detail that I went over. Sorry, but and this is like just a section when depending on who has to approve the document, you put the approver's name.
Mm,
That's all.
approver's name.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then when they
Okay.
approve, when you send it for approval, their name. When they approve, you put the name that they approve. This is a very manual process, just as a FYI, and not manual as
Mm,
in it's a bad thing, but this is how business requirement documentation is done. And I know for sure, I feel like with AI, they're probably going to find a way to automate this, anyways, with AI. But it's currently just the way um, requirement documentation is done. But when we use AI, at least for the research process, it speeds it up. Um,
okay.
so just usually for introduction, it'll literally be, let me see, oh, this is a table of contents. Okay. So we don't have any
Mm,
approvers, table of contents, introduction. You just like give like an overview of the document's purpose.
a document purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem that it addresses and the proposed solution and explain what the document will be. Let me see. Will outline. Okay, let me see. And
Okay.
then the glossary, if there's any glossary terms that people need to explain that people may not be aware of, we put it there. So if, for example, even if it's osusu, as a term, put it
Yes.
and
Also,
define it
yes.
exactly.
Mm,
And then this is where you put the requirements. So that list of requirements that I said we were kind of creating. Hey, what's that put on? Day two osusu projects. There we go. Copy. So the business requirements, they come in this section. Let me just put them plain right here first. So you'll have the requirement, huh? Number, category. I'm just reading real quick. Uh, Number and category. Okay. Requirement category, another requirement category. Okay. Um, Let me just start off first the requirements. So each of these, like I said before, these can kind of be requirements. Maybe we might have to go and fix it or remove and add some, but they will be here. They would go. They have their own line, like requirements have each requirement similar to like the prompts. You try to
Mm,
be specific with the requirement, so you don't want one requirement to like have everything.
okay,
So
okay.
because when they build it, like for them to test it and validate, like if we put five different features in one requirement, then it's like when one failed then the other one works. It's like how do you it's hard to move forward, to say, oh, it
Mm-hmm.
for each requirement. So WhatsApp chatbot that helps people in Sierra Leone track their Osusu savings. And then this organizers and contributors are able to receive notifications. That's another requirement. So we put that in its own line. And then they are also able to submit when they have made a deposit.
Okay.
Um, and for that one, what I'm going to do is because also
Add
it needs to be
another.
specific. So instead of just saying they, I have to put who are they, the contributors and the because each
Mm-hmm.
requirement on its own needs to be a full sentence, like you need
Yes.
to understand what it is. Like it can't have missing, it can't be vague. So that's instead of saying they are, if somebody reads it by itself, they don't know who they are. So I
Mm-hmm.
put
The organizer and the
contributor
contributor.
exactly are able to submit when they have made a deposit to the savings. But this probably needs to get corrected because that organizer and contributor are a role, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think for this, it's better if we just put the contributors. And the reason why
Mm.
is because an organizer can be a contributor also. So we don't need to say
Yes.
organizer and contributor. The organizer and the
Mm-hmm.
contributors are able to receive notifications. Does that make sense? Because it's like whoever's
Sure,
submitting,
sure.
by default, they're a contributor, right? Like,
Yes,
but
yes.
somebody, say if somebody wants to be an organizer, but they don't want to contribute, but they're the organizer, that's why we need to separate that feature there because they're
Mm-hmm.
not submitting
Mm-hmm.
anything if they're just an organizer.
Yes.
Exactly, but they both need to be able to receive notifications. So that's why we have both of them listed here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they are also able to submit when they made a deposit in the savings. Okay, that's the one that we already put. Okay. The application is not collecting the money, but it will be in the future. Okay. Um, I, I'm just going to put them all here. And then the application has a review section. Okay. So these are the ones that we just started off with. We definitely can add more to it, but
Mm, okay.
let me see. So when it says the requirement number, so I'm gonna change this because this was just an acronym for a project. So for example, we can name it if we go with Osusu Pal, we can go with
Mm,
OP 101. So
mm,
usually you want to tie it
okay.
to like the project name. So OP 102, and the same thing for the numbering doesn't really matter. It's just it has to be standard across a project or a company. Whether you go
Okay.
OP1, OP2, OP3, OP4, or OP101, OP102, OP103, that doesn't matter, but it just has to be consistent.
Okay.
The company, the way they do it. So, OP3, OP4, OP5. But let's say now I'm just going to remove these. Let me see. I'm just going to put this initial because the change request. Remember, this is just the first time we're doing
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
so there's no really. So this job is a job of a business analyst, a software business analyst. Right now, when you're creating a
Yes.
document,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
like
Mm-hmm.
some companies they hire for somebody separately to do this, and some of them they want somebody to do this and for them to be a developer and for them to be a tester. But it's a role that is valuable, or at least a skill. It could be a role or a skill to have, where you're able to do
Mm-hmm.
research and analyze what needs to be done for a company. And so this is a good one. We probably can be very a lot better with how we can improve it, and that's probably work we can do outside. But this is good, just like the format. The categories is like let's say the category, if we did have these in section categories, that's when you can have requirement categories. And I'm trying to see here. Let's WhatsApp chatbot. This is the organizer and the contributors. The contributors also, the application is not collecting. The application is reviewing. Um, you know what? I think I'm trying to think of what categories we can create. Do you see like how it can be section off? Let me see. I think this one can be user requirement category. User,
Yes.
yeah, because we have these two here talking about the user roles here. You see,
Mm, mm,
so maybe this one we delete, and the application collects, and then application is not collecting. This one can be. I think this is functional.
functional, yes.
Yeah, because
Functional
this. Yeah,
requirement category.
because WhatsApp chatbot that helps people in Sierra Leone track their OSU savings. Yeah,
Also, so it's a function,
yeah,
yes.
because that's like a function, and then this one, the application is not collecting the money, but it will in the future. I don't know if that's
Yes,
really a
it's a function.
function, but we can just put
Yes,
it.
it's a function.
Okay,
It's a function.
yeah, we'll just put it under that because, like, what in reality, what we can do is not even have categories and just list the requirements. That's an option also
Okay.
to do, but just for the sake of teaching the category thing, I'm just
Mm,
trying to do. The application has a review section. That's more like a user interface, I think.
mm,
Um, the user interface is the UI, so that just means like the screen, how the screen, the way it looks. So we're saying here the application has a review section, so we're expecting for there to be like
okay.
a screen or something with the review section. That's why this is UI.
Mm,
And the user requirement is just like the user roles. These have are about the user roles. That's why they're in the user requirement, and functional, like, well, because it's function. So now, for the
okay.
sake of just, since we're just doing this for the first time, I'll just change the numbers to. So this is just like a quick requirement document. This is good for project management. So at least like we have something to say, okay, this is what it's about, for clarity. And the application. So now with this one, assumptions. Um, assumptions are things like what you
That
assume.
yes, what you are thinking for the chatbot to do.
Yeah, or
What we are thinking.
yeah, what we're thinking and what we already like. Just an assumption like, okay, well, let's assume this is like commonly known already. So I guess I'm trying to think of an example. If you have an example or that you suggest, let me know and I can see if
Mm.
it's real one.
Like for example, we assume that this app will be used by 1,000 people. So we should be mindful of how it's or how it will interact with the users.
Like, what do you
Yes,
mean
it
how it
will be used.
interacts?
For example, we should at least think of it to be environmental friendly or users friendly.
Oh, okay, that's okay. User friendly.
Mm,
Okay, okay. So in that case, application
mm,
is user friendly.
mhm.
Okay, so that, and then we also assume that I'll just like certain assumption. Let me see. You know what? Let's just go ahead and ask ChatGPT right now. Example of starting startup. Actually, you know what? For the sake of this, I think what we can do is probably see if we can help have AI help us fill it in. You want to try that?
Okay. Oh, yes, let's try it.
Yeah, because hmm, since we're say talking about research,
Mm,
let me see. Terms include acronym definition, initial that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's see if it works. But file, um, is it download? Download Microsoft Word AI workshop. Let me see which one. Okay, so there's a requirement document. Okay. Um, I have attached. So I'm going to use. Let's use Gemini because it's probably not going to.
mm,
But then I do like how ChatGPT answers. You know what? We'll just do this as much as we can, and then
yes,
if it says we're out
we'll
of
pick the
space, then we'll
best.
move over to the advice. Okay, I guess here I need your help to figure out. Should I use the free one? That way it can show the limit of what students can do, or let me use a paid version.
Let's use the free one first.
Okay, to see the limits, yeah, because I want it
Mm,
to be something accessible for students. But let me. Okay, so in that case, let's use ChatGPT first, and let's go.
mm,
I have attached document of the analyze it based on best practice as an experienced ENCED business analyst. Can you fill in the missing information in the requirement document for the Osusu PAL AIAPL? Let me see. Assumption is it uses free. Let me see. I try to think the Osusu PAL.
yes, yeah, that also is an assumption.
Yeah. Um. Let's. All right. I think maybe this could be good. Anything else? But we
Mm,
assume. For the requirement, let me put. No, I think that is good. Mo just left this faster for now. Um,
mm,
I want there to be a report though, like a report. Mo just left this one. I'm gonna see what the AI can do by itself. Sorry. All right. Then the workshop one, and then so this is the one that we use. I have attached the document of the requirement document. Analyze it based on the best practices as an experienced business analyst. Can you fill in the missing information in the requirement document for those who supply AI application? Um, Add photo and files, the downloads. Go, go, go. Thank you for sharing us with Supal. I reviewed it, and as an experienced business analyst, I can see the document is a good early stage. All right, do you want to read it? Let's review together. Okay.
Okay.
I'll read this part, and then we'll go through this together. You can review.
Okay.
Okay, so to complete this and strengthen it based on this best practices, I've filled in the missing sections and proposed additional for clarity and completeness and aligned with typical agile lean practices, especially for tech projects with limited resources. This one, let me see how long it is. Wow, you see how much it added?
Mm.
This is what I'm saying. I feel like AI is they're gonna use
The
it to like
assumption.
fill in, adopt it for this document to create it. Okay,
Mm.
you know how much companies pay so much for people to pay them to create these documents. But okay. All right, so you go ahead. Updated sections. Introduction.
Suppose the documents outline the business
Okay, you read out loud so we can
requirements for.
hear.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The document outlines the business requirements for Osusu Pal, a chatbot-based application designed to help individuals and groups in Sierra Leone track Osusu that rotational service.
Mm-hmm.
Problem statements. Many Sierra Leoneans use traditional Osusu model which are manual, paper-based, or rely on memory. These are prone to errors, loss of records, and lack transparency. Organizers and contributors have no real-time access to save data or contribution tracking. Purpose. That is the problem statement. So now
Mm-hmm.
the purpose of this,
Yeah.
Osusupal will be a WhatsApp-based AI chatbot that simplifies Osusu service track by allowing organizers and members to log contribution request balance and receive reminder, all through a mobile-friendly chat interface.
Yeah, this is really good. Like
Mm-hmm,
honestly,
mm-hmm,
I think say as somebody who creates the app, so this is very good because even as we were typing
mm-hmm,
it, I wasn't sure what to write. It's not that like I could have probably figured out what to write, but even just to organize things like that so quickly,
mm-hmm,
the fact that it did a really good job, you know, and
mm-hmm,
all we gave
mm-hmm,
it was just this stuff, we didn't put what the problem was, but
mm,
that's wow. And it's
yes.
very simple, just simple wording, but it's just to
Mm-hmm,
organize and do research and pull all of this. When you do it by yourself, it takes time, especially if you're not used to creating this document. Wow, okay. And then look at even fill in the terms. Okay, so we can go line by line.
yes.
Okay, Osusu, go ahead.
A traditional service method used in West Africa where members of a group contribute fixed amount on a recurring basis and take turn receiving the pooled funds.
Yep.
Then the second term we have contributors. Contributor, a participant in the Osusu group who contributes fund on a schedule. Then we have organizer, the individual responsible for managing the Osusu group, including confirming contributions, update group records, and communicating with contributors. Then we have chatbox, an AI-powered virtual assistant that communicates with users through WhatsApp to perform predefined tasks like recording service or checking balance. Then we have group service, a pooled service structure involving multiple contributors with scheduled contribution and disbursement. Then you have individual service, a person track a person tracking option for users who are saving on their own using Osisupa.
Wow.
Mm,
Okay.
very straightforward.
I know,
Very
right?
straightforward.
I'm so amazed. The amount of time we're gonna take for create this document. Oh my god.
Mm,
Now just anyway, so business requirements. So this is a section that we put in our requirements that we had. So
mm,
let's see
okay.
how well it did to fill in and clean it up for us. So I can help you out now. So maybe how do you want to do it? Let me read some and then you read some, or do you want to read all by
Okay.
yourself? Tell me whichever way you want
Okay.
to do it.
Okay. Read some. Read some.
All right. So let me see. So I'll read one section and then you read the next one, and then we'll do about that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So the business requirements. I've enhanced the section with additional function UI and user experience requirements that are typical and useful for your solution. Functional requirements. WhatsApp chatbot that helps people in Sierra Leone track their Osusu savings. The application is not collecting the money, but it will in the future. And
Mm,
this to add the ones that I suggested is users can choose between individual savings and group Osusu tracking when starting. Bot parses savings inputs like save 1000 for group A and logs data accordingly. That, hold on. The bot
mhm,
parses savings input like save 1000 for group A and logs data accordingly. I feel like I feel like makes sense, but I feel like I need more explanation for this. If this is where with
mhm,
AI,
mhm,
we can use
mhm,
AI to explain more.
mm.
Can you explain this to me? I don't get it. What is it doing with parsing? Great question. Let me break it down. What does it mean the bot parses savings input? The bot reads the message and breaks it into parts so we can understand what to do. Okay. The bot
Mm,
example message a user might send save 1000 for group A. A bot understands normal human language like we do. It needs to analyze the message and figure out action, amount, group A. Okay, so it's just the way it understands it. Okay.
mm,
What happens after parsing? Once the bot parses or understands the message, it can do something with it like save the amounts to a spreadsheet or database, confirm to the user, or update the group's balance. Okay. Okay. In simple terms, parsing is a step where the bot breaks down what the user type so we can log the savings in the right place. You can think of it like how a teacher thinks takes attendance. Student says, I'm here for math class. Teacher hears it, figures out the subject's math, and marks your name under the right list. Okay. So that's the parsing. This can take long to read, but I guess we'll go through it, and then we can figure out next time when to come together and like actually start try to build um, or pick a tool of what to build it in. But let me go the parsing. The bot stores contribution data in a backend system, so Google Sheets, Airtable, or Firebase. Okay, Google Sheets is free, so we can use that. Bot can fetch and display individual or group balance in request my balance. Okay, the bot sends automatic reminders based on contribution frequency. Okay, I think that's good.
mhm.
Any other requirements you think we need, or don't they? I mean, we get more, but
Mm.
that's good. Okay,
Yes.
you
Yeah, this one is good.
have. All right, so you can read the user interface.
User interface requirements. Requirements number, requirement NCR number. Then OP 1.03. The application has a review section. Then OP 1.11. User can type help command or receive a list of menu options. The chatbot interface should support emoji based or keyword based. Example, save or balance.
Okay, the replies.
Add,
Okay.
a- yes, admin dashboard for organizers can be a Google Sheet or Glide app to view group summaries.
Mhm. Okay, user
User
requirements.
requirement.
Okay, go
Yes.
ahead. Okay.
So for user requirements, the organizer and the contributors are able to receive notification. Then two, the contributors are also able to submit when they have made a deposit to the service. Then three, organizers can verify or approve reported contribution. Then sorry, user can update their display name or group. affiliation. Then support for multiple language or local dialects in messaging prompts. Example, Creole optional.
Okay. Wow. Assumptions. Application is user friendly for large population. Osusupal is
Mm,
cost effective for development. Osusupal is cost effective for users in Sierra Leone. Users have access to a mobile phone with WhatsApp. Contribution are still made offline, cash, mobile money, but tracked digitally. Organizers are literate and can follow simple prompts to manage groups. Future development may include integration with mobile money APIs or banks. Wow. Optional additions for later. If you want to expand BRD to be more comprehensive, consider these sections: stakeholders, list roles like contributors, organizers, developers, AI advisor, non functional requirements, example, must work with low internet land bandwidth, and future enhancements, example, in-app payment
app
integration,
payment integration and
NFC
NFC card.
cards. Wow, this is a very wow. I haven't actually I've played with the AI to I know it can do this with the requirement document, but it hasn't been one like this where
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing it in action for something we're working on to build. For me, it's just research basis. Like, oh, it could do it, but the full I'm amazed right now. That's all. This is AI is coming to
Yeah.
take the job. So wow,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
document, Abu. We take so much time to create this document just for the draft alone is a process. And
Mm-hmm.
because I know
Mm-hmm.
with AI moving fast, like this document, it's not something that you can take too long creating or even maintaining, but to be able to get it done fast to start the project
Mm-hmm.
quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, wow. And it's not like the like when you read it, like okay, that makes sense, right? But it's just the
Mm-hmm.
time it takes to research and gather
Yes.
and document.
Yes.
That's the part. So this is
Mm.
amazing. Wow. So I'm just cleaning it up. I'm probably not gonna. I'll clean it up. I'm after the class a bit more, and that way you can see cleaner. But I think this is a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the good thing with having a requirement document now, it's a place something to agree upon. And then when we're
Mm.
building, we have something that's defining the application. That way we don't,
Yes.
oh, let's add this, do that. It wasn't defined here, so no.
Mm.
Because that happens a lot with projects, like even major ones. Like people want to add this because they forget, but then the requirement document is. I mean, with AI, I don't know. I guess the process probably changed, but traditionally, it takes time to go back and change things too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, table option. But let me not do all this right now. But okay, this was just okay. So this was really good. So I guess
Mm.
part of it is we do need to decide which strategy to take to build it, right?
Yes.
Because we have all this. Okay, we have the requirement document now. And that's good. Like at least
Mm.
we have like a baseline mutual understanding of what we're building. Um, business case. This was in another document, but maybe another time we'll get to this. But this is like, I
Yes.
mean, this it's another requirement. It's not a document. It's not a requirement, but it's one that like just explains. This I was just going to show how to do it because of the class. It's about research and documentation, but it's also in software development. But it can be in something business case. For this one, for example, it would be okay. We write a business case to explain the reason why this application is necessary, why it's useful.
Okay. Grab place though.
Huh? Oh, not oh, you talk to somebody. Okay. Okay. So that's a different one, but we.
I dey talk to some you say in the feeling body. Now say let grab place though.
Oh, okay. Oopsie. Okay.
Mm.
Oh wow. You okay?
Yeah. Grab place don't know. Okay. You're okay, you're okay now, small.
Okay. So this might be chatbot. Mo see okay the project with Ukin. You know what? Just for fun. No, hold on. Might not go do just for fun. We could do just for fun before we left. For see, O2 could just create
Mm,
quick for AI for say, okay, do I'm no more, with like Gemini or
okay.
chat. But most, yeah,
Mm,
the search that what we do, we see that ChatGPT 9 better.
mm. ChatGPT more better.
Okay, most see what things we for create. Uh, let me see. You see if I use either Twilio, WhatsApp. See all these. I think for the sake of the class, this is not something I think it's something we'll have to just work on together and see
Mm-hmm.
it build together. Because since this is like brand new for me to come and build this app, I can't really say I'm teaching, So I think this is the one where we get for plan a different time to get together and pick which application or tool we want to use,
Okay.
like as we're
Okay.
playing, like testing together, Because right
Okay.
now I'm reading it, I don't even know which approach to tell you. When I'm if I, on my own, I could probably be like, okay, well, let me try this out, do that, and that's not really teaching. So I think for the
Mm,
research and documentation, that's kind of done, but we'll have to for the sake of today, like day two. Yeah, wow. This is day two right here. So for the sake of day
mm,
two, the live demo researching, we've done that. Define the problem. Ask AI what is Osusu, how does it work in West Africa. Then what are the
mm,
common challenges in tracking Osusu contribution. So we kind of went off on our own outside of the thing here. But these were questions
mm.
I guess we were going to ask AI, but we just kind of went directly to the requirement document, which is fine. These were just like example um, things that it was asking us to ask. So let me see. What are some free platforms to build a WhatsApp chatbot? Um,
Compare answer from ChatGPT Cloud.
so maybe I could just
Select.
we'll just ask them quick now for let's see. Mini product activity project Osusu goal help user track users people. Drafting a quick requirement document. Okay, so we did that one. The requirement
Mm,
document. These are just like questions. We could probably you can ask these like a little later, but we already saw how we can search on the different ChatGPT and Perplexity.
mm,
Claude, for this sake, I mean, Claude is probably useful, but I don't use Claude like that. Discussion prompt for students. What new ideas or question came up in the research and what was surprising? Um, did you have anything new came up for you was surprising?
mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to share?
Yes. Like for the research with
Mm-hmm.
different tools,
Yeah,
I surprised at the very different ideas they bring out,
yeah,
especially ChatGPT, wherein it gives us almost all the road for us to at least achieve this project.
right. Okay. Yeah, for me, I was surprised just how good it was for the requirement document. Like when the way it
Mm,
created, that was surprising. Like
mm,
good surprise. I
mhm.
wasn't expecting it to be so good. Um, okay. These I guess are things we can go search more to have a better understanding for the
Okay,
topic. But I just want to go through here to make sure that we covered everything. At least we covered searching, and then we did do the requirement document.
okay.
Features, save contributions, get summaries. I don't even
Get
think.
some.
Oh yeah, that's something we probably should add. But prefer tools to be
Send
researched.
reminder.
Yeah, I think that was in the requirement document. Yeah, reminders and then challenges or question. Does Twilio work in Sierra Leone? Challenges or questions. Features. Twilio. Oh, okay, these are challenge. Oh, something that may come up.
Yes, yes.
Check and see if it works in Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
Students will prompt AI as needed to fill in gaps. Example, what platforms allow me to send WhatsApp message with a chatbot for free or low cost? Yeah, so these are all things I think, like for actually building it, I think we definitely need to get together somewhere between this and next class, which is next Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for just kind of,
Next Tuesday.
yeah, and this something we're not recording, but just for us to actually like work and find the tools and maybe start even building it, you know?
Okay.
I think before the next
Okay.
class, it'd be nice if we start putting something together. And
Mm.
yeah, so between then and now, we at least have the requirement document to look and we can think of things that we need to add or remove. To be careful,
Mm.
we don't want to put too much in the document yet, in the
Mm.
application when we're just starting, mainly because you don't want the more you have in it to build, the bigger it is, and then the less chance that you
Yes.
can create it, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So really want to stick to let me see. What's it's something called the building the MVP. It's the let me see. I forget most valuable what does MVP mean in software development? It's like when you build like the most necessary thing, the minimum viable product.
Minimal viable product.
Yeah,
Okay.
is the simplest version of the product that delivers value to users and solves a core problem.
Mm.
So that's why right
Okay.
now, yep, this is the reason why right now it doesn't make sense for us to do they can make it like the where the app is managing their money. If that's what we were building and the money is there, the funds are there, and that's the only goal, yes, that's our MVP. But our MVP right now, for the
Mm.
sake of the class, we just want to see if we can find a tracking app for Osusu. So for us to say,
Okay.
okay, well, the app needs to connect to the bank for them to like use the app to deposit, that's out of the MVP. In the future, it can be MVP,
Mm.
but this is our first initial
Okay.
one for the class. It's not MVP,
Okay.
or to be able to post to share on social media. If it could do that, great, but it's not MVP. It doesn't. The
Mm.
simplest one right now is for somebody to track their contributions
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, track contributions. That's the MVP thing right there. If that can happen, that's what matters. Everything else can be added later. Yeah. And the reason why, because then it allows us to first create something quick that we can start using, and then we can start improving and making changes. Um. Anyway, so yeah, that's the AI WhatsApp chatbot that lets people type, save this much, and responds, you save that much
Response
today,
you say yes.
and it stores in the Google data
Totally.
sheet. That's it. That would be a strong MVP. That's all. Everything else
Mm.
we add later. Like I said, fancy app animation, integration, mobile payments,
Mobile
mobile
payments.
language.
Yes.
All these are extra. Even the admin dashboard is saying extra, but you can build those
Mm.
after the MVP is proved
The
because
MVP.
that's the main function.
Okay.
All right. So let me
Mm-hmm.
copy that for the MVP just as a reference. Because it did list the MVP. MVP rename. Um, what's happy to say? So I think next we just need to. Oh, let me go back. Nope. Make sure that we finish the
Mm.
class.
Okay. Mm.
Class. It's every day. Day two. Hey, day two has a lot of. Today's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we're
Mm-hmm.
working on the project, so we did that. The tools
Mm.
MVP. Tools discovery. AI helps us
Discover
explore
AI help
options.
us explore,
Okay. Explore
explore
tools.
tools based on AI suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Tulo, check pricing and regional access,
Mm-hmm.
WhatsApp business API, dialog flow,
Mm-hmm.
many chats, Siledex,
Mm-hmm.
GPT bots, IO,
And chat
chat
based.
base. Mm.
Yeah. So I
Go
think this
go up and
go up this way or the other
yeah,
way.
yes, 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 yes. Okay.
Recap and
Option
homework.
and share link. Yes, recap and homework. Let's see it.
Oh, okay. This is okay. How did you learn about using AI for research? What did you learn about using AI for research today?
Mm,
Okay, yeah. I guess it says ask. What did you learn?
Well,
Abu?
I learned many things today.
I know,
I
right?
learned, yeah, I learned many things today.
Right? Like creating a
Today,
requirement
today,
document, how you can use
mm,
AI to research, but different
AI,
ways of
yeah, to
researching.
research, yes.
hmm And then use AI to answer how could this chatbot handle multiple
Mm-hmm,
contributors.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so for homework, it's saying use AI to answer how can this chatbot handle multiple contributors.
Multiple
Refine the
contribution, yeah.
requirement document as a
As a
class or
class
solo.
also.
Preview day 3, writing better and building AI knowledge bases, where you'd start writing with AI and saving your search for useful docs. Okay. Um, so for this one, okay, so let's say I'm gonna wrap up the class. For the homework, I think we're just gonna get together, or
Mm,
I don't think I want that to be the homework. The homework, just individually we can search and just see, okay, what tools can be used or what, just a search. So this is, although you're searching, it doesn't mean it's just a search for to see I guess which tools we can use to build, like what's
okay,
process. Although we already did the chat GPT here, but for the sake of homework, we can just search, let me see, which tools and process we can use to build the chatbot. Now, it's okay if you don't do this because when we get together, that's what we're going to do: search the tools in the process and then to start building. But if we do this search before the class, at least we can just discuss now, okay, this is what I found, this is what I found, and then we can decide, okay, which one to go forward with, right?
okay.
But I think I remember you said that you already did research. So do you want to share what you
Mm-hmm.
found based on your research? Because then maybe that could.
Yes, yes. I sent that in the group. That
Okay.
the
Oh yeah, yeah,
information
you
I
did.
sent in the
Okay,
group.
yeah, you did. Let me you did share that. Let me see. Okay, sorry, I'm just waiting for WhatsApp to load. Hey, WhatsApp, always updating something. Continue chat. Trying to go in the group, the class group chat. Okay, I think you can see it now. Okay. This app will track member contributions, send reminders, upcoming payments, allow secure deposits, provide an overview. Abu, you can see, right? 12:1. Next payment due, total deposit today, progress toward a savings goal. Um, Abu?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, just making sure you can see the screen.
I did see.
Yeah, just to review what you send. It aligns. So let me see, automated reminders and notification. Let me copy this. Copy. Day 2, BRD, Asusu project. What is this? Oh, the way WhatsApp shares it. Might just see. Okay. Future brainstorm user dashboard overview of savings balance. Next payment due date. Total deposit today. So anything, I guess. What's up? Reminder if payment is missed. Notification when payment is received. Deposit functionally integrate with mobile money. Oh, okay. So some things we probably need can't do right now, but I see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I guess this we could just
Mm-hmm.
kind of go over next time when we get together we can pick
Okay.
you want to just wait till the next class or pick a day for kind of work and pick
Yes,
a
yes,
tool. What
yes.
so
Because why I want also pick a date to do an overview, because this is a recording. So
mm-hmm.
at times, if we come together and have like a note session,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can do it coherent.
Oh, okay. Wait, I'm trying to see what do you explain what you mean.
Like for example, we come together like either the weekends or any other day.
Mm-hmm.
We come together, then even if for 30 minutes, so that we have already know what we want to tackle for the next coming class. So
Mm-hmm.
we pick up those half things. So when we come to the class, it's just an execution. Then we add
Right.
more.
Okay. I agree. So I think okay, good. I agree. So let's get together to kind of like you said, pick up and then decide. Just kind of yeah, pick the tools and maybe even just set the plan. Okay, so the next class, this is
Mm-hmm,
what we're doing.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, especially for
mm-hmm,
the tool. Like we know the project, we did the
mm,
research
mm,
requirement document. Now we
mm-hmm.
really need to pick what tools and how we're going to build it
Okay.
and refine the requirement document. Okay, feature ideas, integration with credit system. Okay, this is good. It's so many. The opportunity is just so much. You know, it's like it's so much opportunity. Tech backend ideas, um, Flutter, React, native mobile. I'm making gets Nigerian language, not so um, Firebase backend, payment integration with Flutter, Paystack. Okay, this not one would assume say you they collect the payments. I guess for you, you want to develop this for like the future, right? The payment ones.
Yes, yes, that payment one.
Yeah. So before you said that there's other application when you did your research that already do this. Remember the names?
Yeah, the one is they call it limey. They have limey. They have bolts. They have also wave.
What?
Yeah, wave, and they have orange money and Afi money as well.
Am I spelling it right? I know I already got orange money. Now the lime bolts will.
Mhm.
This is the name. The name that I saw.
Mhm.
WILL.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I think yeah. What day should we pick? Tomorrow is Friday, so for me, I can do. I don't
Any day is good for me. Any day.
know. Okay. All right. We'll just discuss on the chat. That's what day to pick. To get together. But I think this is good. Um, we the homework will just be that we'll have to plan to get together again to work on the the loose ends before the next class.
Okay.
So that's our together homework. So that way we can figure out which tools and process that we can use to build the chat, and then refine the requirement just to like really refine it. I don't want to. We don't need to spend too much time in the requirement anymore, but just at least like okay, this is what's gonna go, and that's it. You know, or Preview day three. For day three, writing better and building AI knowledge bases. Okay, that's going to be when we use Perplexity. I think because we already have the requirement document, now we can use Perplexity to build a knowledge base. Remember how I said we can maybe after building an application like a user guide, we can put on Perplexity for people to use to ask questions on how to use the application, or what the application is about. But with that being said, I think we have everything. We did create the requirement document, so that template is here. AI research prompt examples. I mean, that's kind of all over the place, but I'll clean all this up when I share the notes. But to-do list, AI suggested platforms or chatbot development. That one we'll work on, and then add sources to your notebook LM workspace. That one, I guess right now there's no workspace because we haven't built it yet, but we'll create it when we are done with the requirement document. Um, so, with that being said, if you have no questions, we can say this is done, and I will share the video link. Let me show you an example. Because I want to make it easy for you to find information, right?
Yes, ma'am.
For the video link, what I've done was, let me see. When you go on the video, like the videos are on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for each video, I put a link. Well, my goal is to put the link to the notes on the description to make it easier too for you to find. So let me see. Google your channel. So when you're on the channel, the videos. Oh, it's not showing me all the videos. Manage videos. I think you should see those videos because if you're added to it, then you should see it. Private,
Mm.
but I think you are added to it. Yeah, Abu. Okay.
No, I'm not added to these notes, to that note you are making.
The notes, the document.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The one
It's
that we're
only
working
those
on.
that first. Yes, only that first one that I have access on.
Only what the first day one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, this is the same document. It has tabs.
Yes, I cannot see the tabs.
Oh wow. Are you on your phone or on the computer?
I'm on my phone.
Okay. So okay, the phone will be a little harder, but are you able to go on it on the computer? Hello.
Ma'am. Yes, hello?
Okay. If you're able to go on the computer, wait. I guess I have a question. So you're on the live stream. You're on the phone or the computer?
I'm on the phone presently because there is no light presently.
Okay, okay, that's fine. So on the phone, maybe right now it's hard for you to get to it, but on the phone, if you're looking at the documents, it'll be the same one. When you scroll
Mm.
down, you have to scroll all the way down to the first page, and
Mm.
then on the bottom, I
Okay.
think, depending on the phone, but on my phone, when I go on the bottom, that's when it'll show tabs, and I might have to click over to go on the specific
Okay.
tab.
Okay. 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 Document tabs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of tabs now for the phone, but that's how you go through the tabs. Do you see them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so that's how you go through them for yeah, that's how. I can't even think of anything else right now. BRD template, let me see. Rename. And then obviously on the computer you can open it up on your left side, you know?
Mm.
Are you able to get to it or do I need to wait?
Yes, I can see it through the phone. I can see it through the
Oh,
phone.
okay, okay. Okay. So yeah, with each one, if the tabs like on the computer you could probably see easier, but I have one for each day. Like so day one, day two, the date is on it if you already have the day. and then
Mm-hmm.
each day might have subtab. Like today has a lot of subtabs, you
Yes.
know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do, same thing like this one. Maybe I'll put the notes for the class, like when I do the meeting notes, like right underneath. So
Mm-hmm.
for day one, it says day one notes. So day two, what I'll end up doing is to put in day two notes. It's just a review of the
Okay.
class when I make the meeting notes for the transcript. But all the other things that we worked
Okay.
on, the templates, will all be here. I just think it's better than to create other so many different documents, you know? Um, unless you think having a lot of different documents is better, we can do that too. But I think it's better just to put the class notes in one page, and then maybe the major documents, like the business requirement document itself, we can take out as a
Mm.
standalone document, you know?
Okay.
Or other documents that, okay, you know what, this needs to be standalone for itself, we can take out of it, especially for next class when we're going to build a knowledge base, or when we're building an application. By what I was going to show you was when you go to each day, let me see. So I think, let me just make sure you are added here. Yeah, you are here as a commenter. Commenter. We'll be done soon. I'm sorry, I'll let you go. So when you are here, when you click on it, when you're on the video itself, what I've done and what my goal is to do is to put the link to the document that it belongs to. So when you
Okay.
click more, you'll then this doesn't. Did they remove it? Day one. Wait. No, you know what? I didn't want to put it here on YouTube because just in case I make it public again. But right now it's private. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
So it's not here. So I lied. I'm sorry. I think I did at first and I changed it, but I'm like, you know what? I don't know if it's smart to put like, the document link on YouTube just in case if it's like I make it public and I forget that it's there. So never mind. But what I did do though is okay, discard. If you do want to watch the video on the day, okay, the
Mm.
notes, the meeting notes for the class, I did put the class video link on there. So although in the class video link, what I'm doing is I'm adding you like whoever's in the class, I'll add their name to the video. That way, you see like right here. That way, YouTube sends you a
Mm-hmm.
message to let you
Mm-hmm.
know, okay, a video has been shared with you. I also did put the link to that video underneath each
Mm.
class. So day one, the link for day
Okay.
one is in the meeting notes for day one, so it'll be there. So when I create day
Okay.
two, it'll be under here, and the link for day two will be here, the video. That's all.
Okay.
That's what I was
Okay.
trying to explain. But
Okay.
okay, all right. Well, we have been here for more than 2 hours, so I'm gonna let you go.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, I think we did a good job with the business requirement document. That's a really good skill to even understand to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is a paper. It's a quick document that you can create that you don't need to do all the time, but it's useful to have, especially for a project, like this. And then I think that was good that we did. And then we'll just discuss on when we can meet together to pick the tools and the process. And if you know anybody
Okay.
who has an input or wants to join, let me know. But I think
Okay.
that's if you want to. I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't know if it's like boring for you for it to just be me explaining everything, or you just listening. And I know you did give a lot of inputs, but I don't know if you wanted somebody else to learn along with you. But if not, then this is fine. This
Well,
is great.
I will look for somebody that is dedicated.
Yeah, it's because if somebody can learn along with you,
Mm.
that's better. But if not, that's fine. I mean, for me, this is definitely helping me refine the class, and
Mhm.
it's giving me
Okay.
confidence for like the next time to like be confident to advertise it to bigger, So it's very
Okay.
helpful for that, especially when you guide me to say, okay, let's do a class project. Like it makes so much more sense now on how to
Okay.
teach. Okay, so it's no pressure, but if you have somebody who wants to learn along, let me know, or at least especially when we're building the tool. If not, then I know we can definitely
Okay.
do it. We can definitely
Okay.
get
No
through like the
problem.
rest of the class with like a lot. It's a lot of information, but I think it's good to learn when you're building. All right, I'm gonna be quiet now. I've been
Okay.
talking. All right. All right.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.